Okay, I want to thank Guy Gordon, who's here from our radio station, for filling me in on what I was doing today. Because this was embargoed, till after 9 this morning. And it was Guy who said, Paul, it was in the Detroit News Friday. And I said, Guy, I really don't want to hear that right now. But thank you, Guy. And thank you, Ann Thomas, my executive producer, and Kim, who helps produce the show as well and all. I want to tell you something. Yes, this is one of the worst, but typical Michigan secrets, because everybody thinks they already know what we're here to do. But I'm actually announcing I am running for governor. Yeah. We're going to take this show on the road. I always set the governor up. She knocks him right down. All right, so you may think you know everything, and frankly, you know a lot, and it is good news, but you're smart enough to be here for, as what Mr. Harvey used to say, the rest of the story, because everything wasn't in the newspaper, Daniel. So, my God, he's already writing notes. And Devin Scallion, too? My God, guys, we haven't done anything yet. Oh, jeez. All right, well, we're here for a very momentous occasion. It is a big day for all of Michigan. And I salute the media people who are here to get the whole story. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate that Congresswoman Debbie Dingell is here because she had nowhere else to go. So anyway, it was a joke. She's like my little sister. All right, big story today, and you're going to get the rest of the story here. I'm happy to welcome and introduce Stephen Croley with Ford Motor Company. So he's going to have the first word here on what we're doing. No question about it, Stephen. Ford is making big news today. It's a very big and important day for the state. What can you tell us about the company's plans in the Midwest and specifically right here in Michigan?
Thank you for the question. Great to be here. Let me just say first a thank you to the governor and her team, our legislative leaders. This is very much teamwork and a team effort. So we're grateful for your partnership. What we're doing today is deepening our commitment to our home state of Michigan as we position Ford Motor Company to continue to shape the landscape mobility and to contribute to the economic fabric of our region. Let me start with the big picture, responsive to your question. So we are announcing a $3.7 billion investment that will mean the creation of 6,200 jobs across Michigan, Ohio, and Missouri. A majority of that investment and a majority of those jobs will be right here in Michigan. What does it mean as a practical matter? So let me get into a couple specifics. We will increase our production of the F-150 Lightning at the REV-C, the Rouge Electric Vehicle Center. We will produce a new Ford Ranger truck at the Michigan Assembly Plant, and we will produce a new Mustang Coupe at our Flat Rock Assembly. We're also adding jobs to our customer service division and to various component suppliers throughout southeast Michigan. Taken together, this adds up to about 3,200 jobs for the state of Michigan. But there's more. We're also converting 3,000 jobs, which are now temporary jobs, and making them into permanent full-time jobs. And we're investing another $1 billion, in addition to the 3.7 I mentioned, in workplace improvements to make working at our manufacturing facilities a better place to work. Of course, this job creation will have some multiplier effect, given suppliers, the economic ecosystem, increased spending, and so forth. So in the end, the job creation that we're announcing will mean many tens of thousands of jobs, by some estimates as many as 74,000 jobs. It's important, though, to understand the why. All of these investments are part of the transformation of our company. We call it Ford Plus. And with Ford Plus, we are leading the electrification of the transportation sector. What we will do by 2026 is to make 2 million electric vehicles. And along the way, we will strengthen our portfolio of gas-powered vehicles, iconic vehicles like the Ranger and the Mustang Coupe, as I mentioned. I say we because, again, this is a joint effort. Our commitment to our future requires the partnership that you see before you here. Michigan is our own home state, always has been. From Michigan, we will chart the course of transforming transportation, and our announcement today is one big step along that course. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephen Croley from Ford Motor Company. Next, we hear from Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and congratulations to you, Governor. I know you did a lot of behind-the-scenes work on this, and with the legislators that, of course, did a fine job at keeping this quiet. What efforts? That also was a joke. Okay. What efforts are you making at the state level to build on Michigan's auto manufacturing legacy and ensure the state remains competitive in this space?
Well, thanks, Paul W. I'm glad that you're moderating this press conference. I think it's a really cool new way to do it that's inclusive, and this is really a partnership that you see here. That's why you've got people of different points of view on a lot of subjects. We're all working together on this front, and it's really important. Coming together to celebrate this $2 billion investment in Michigan, 3,200 good-paying UAW jobs, it's really only possible because of bipartisan effort that we were able to stake out together. Last year at the end of the year, we kind of turned the old narrative that Michigan's slow and Lansing's dysfunctional and we don't have the sharpest tools at our disposal for economic development. We turned that on its head by acting together and quickly and enhancing what we are able to do with the MEDC. And Quentin Messer has done a phenomenal job on all of our behalf at the MEDC. And that's really what brought us here together. And I'm grateful for the partnership that we were able to get done. Working side by side, we've landed a $7 billion investment earlier this year from GM, $1.7 billion investment from LG Energy Solution on the west side of the state. And we're going to continue to grow our strength in this space, but also across many different parts of our economy. But when we work together, there's nothing that can stand in our way. And so I'm grateful to be here. I think the work that we're doing is finishing a budget and giving people some relief in the process, but also investing in electric vehicle infrastructure, ensuring that we're being creative and solving problems, giving people incentives so that they can participate in this transition, creating opportunities like charging at our state parks. These are creative ways that we are going to continue to lead in this space. The charging mile in the Detroit area. Glad to see the county executive. So much of this is happening in Wayne County, but this obviously impacts the whole state, and that's why this work is so critical, and I'm grateful for the partnership.
Thank you, Governor Whitmer. To Senator Shirkey, Michigan has been the birthplace of some of the world's most iconic vehicles, from the original Mustang and Bronco of the 60s to the advent of today's F-150 Lightning and the next generation Mustang that Stephen just announced today. What does it mean, Senator Shirkey, to you and to all of us, that the next generation of these iconic Ford vehicles will indeed be built right here in Michigan?
There's no better industry to allow people in broad spectrum to develop and generate wealth than manufacturing. The supply chains required to have a healthy manufacturing environment are intricate. We've learned that now, but they're also deep, and it provides massive opportunities across the spectrum. The fact that Michigan has been the leader in auto production, and I believe will continue to be, is just another evidence of how deep and how healthy our manufacturing roots are. I live and breathe manufacturing. I don't apologize for it, and I love it. And the fact that Ford is making this decision to put these roots down even deeper and make them even more healthy. And I love the fact that part of it is in internal combustion engines. Because I love the technology of electric vehicles. EVs are awesome. But there's nothing like getting in the seat of an ICE and turning that key and hitting that accelerator and hearing that exhaust. And I fully expect that to last the rest of my lifetime. And I'm expecting this to be just another opportunity for us to put a punctuation point on that So thank you for your investment, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Thank you, Senator Shirkey. Senator Ananich, what signal does today's announcement send about Michigan's competitiveness and commitment to building a strong future of, in fact, EV manufacturing here in the great state of Michigan?
Thank you. And I wanted to take a moment. My wife's first car was a Ford Mustang, and a kid from Flint, it's difficult. Used to, when we were growing up, it was General Motors and everything else was a foreign car, but even Ford. But I'll tell you, with this new EV Mustang, we may have to go back in that direction again. And it's really amazing. And Mike talked about it a lot, and Stephen did too. As a kid from Flint, I mean, the multiplier effect that these jobs are going to have is going to be immense. It's going to be in suppliers. It's going to be in restaurants, which that's why Mike calls me Gym Plus, because I spend too much time in restaurants. But sorry about that. I had to break the levity a little bit. But just the immense, the future looking that Ford is showing here is going to be amazing for our whole state. It's going to be amazing for America, and I think we're going to see those jobs, those good paying jobs, both with Ford and with the suppliers and the other companies that get created. It's going to be here for a long time, and it shows the commitment that they have to Michigan that we have to them. And I really appreciate the investment. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Ananich. To Speaker Wentworth, how do investments like the one we're announcing today create long-term impact across Michigan, even beyond communities where the direct investment is being made?
Yeah, I appreciate the question. I've never heard that, Gym Plus. That's good. That's great. So, I mean, I think it's been mentioned already. I'd say the multiplier that Senator Ananich just mentioned, I mean, it's upwards of 4+ multiplier, which means, thousands, tens of thousands of jobs across the state. And so I'm excited not only for this to happen here and improve the roots, but just to show Michigan and show the world that we're competitive right now in manufacturing and that we want and we're going to be competitive for business here in the state. So this announcement hopefully will ripple into other attractive opportunities for Michigan, and so that's what I'm most excited about. But I think the multiplier in cases like where I'm from in rural northern Michigan, this is the backbone of our state, these types of opportunities and investments for generational wealth to be built. So I'm excited to be here as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker Wentworth. To Representative Lasinski. Today, we have representatives from the public and private sector, as well as federal, state, and local officials celebrating this news. How can these sectors partner most effectively together going forward on behalf of economic development in Michigan and to create jobs?
Was that the longest question so far?
Yes, they told me to give you the longest.
Just checking. Inverse height order. So, when we're looking at this investment, I think what we have to be very clear about is a lot of states have really good numbers and can put up really good numbers and opportunities. But what I am hopeful about the work that we've done and that we've done, the six of us together here today with companies like Ford, is we're finally tackling some of those intangible things that companies make decisions based on. And that is Michigan putting together a solid plan that will carry into the future. Are we building partnerships that will outlast us in the legislature? And are we building on the relationships we have? And frankly, hopefully, that'll build an ecosystem with the partners that we do have to bring in new partners, because they see that we are hardworking Michiganders. We partner with our businesses. We put our best foot forward. And all of those things are just as important. I know the numbers are important, the economic development packages that we can put out. But are we building true partnerships with the folks who have made Michigan successful, who have built our heritage? And can we use that as a springboard for other companies and other industries who are looking to grow? We're at a tremendous opportunity point with the changes in the supply chain to bring a lot of folks back home to Michigan, both in the automotive industry and others. And the six of us sitting here together with Ford Motor Company shows that we've got the intangibles in the right place, too.
Well put. You handled that long question well, Representative Lasinski. And I think for all of us to see these people sitting here, we see that it is a bipartisan effort. Because we're all in this together for the state of Michigan, not for the Democrats, not for the Republicans, not for the independents, not for the conservatives, not for the liberals, but for the great state of Michigan. And here's a great sign of them working together on something, and I hope the first step of many projects. We finish up with Quentin Messer with the MEDC. Quentin, with these new jobs, we need to make sure we have the trained workers to fill them. What can we do to ensure that and current workforce has the skills they need to fill the automotive manufacturing jobs of the future and attract future investment like Ford's to Michigan?
So it's a great question. So I think there are really three things. First of all, gratitude for Ford for allowing Team Michigan to earn this investment. The second thing is, in a bipartisan way, you continue to see the work on Michigan's number one asset, which is the 10 million plus Michiganders who live on both peninsulas. You see bipartisan legislation from the governor, from Senator Shirkey, from the Speaker Wentworth, on about making sure that Michiganders have the tools to become lifelong learners. You saw it with Future for Frontliners, you saw it 60 by 30, and you now see it with the MyRev program. You also see with the recent launch of the Talent Action Network to make sure that the training is there for people who are transitioning, not only just for Ford, but also for Ford suppliers, to make sure that they're ready as the technologies shift, that Ford is always able to be on the cutting edge. And the last thing I think is important to say is Michigan comes together and no one can stop us when we're together. And I think that's critically true because we have the greatest asset, which is Michiganders. Great universities, great K-12s that are improving, and we're making sure that we continue to attract Ford because Ford invests in the community, which helps with overall talent and skill development.
Thank you, Quentin, very much. Now, some very quick, I guess we would call them sound bites that might prove helpful to you, because I'm going to end the panel discussion with a speed round, 3 to 5 words. Just use, if you could, in 3 to 5 words. How do you feel about today's news and Michigan's manufacturing future? We'll start at that end and then just keep going.
I'll just one word: excited.
Deep, healthy roots.
Inspired, hungry, resilient.
It's a hard question. We're defining the future together.
I mean, that was the best one so far. I was going to go along the lines of everyone else, which is, grateful, determined, optimistic, and partnership.
Michigan wins big.
Hometown team scores another run.
Very good. Just in summary, over 3,200 direct union jobs, $2 billion investment. Ford will have committed now to investing nearly $10 billion in Michigan since 2016, created or retained more than 10,000 jobs. A $1.2 billion investment, nearly 2,000 jobs throughout 3 assembly plants in our home state, Ford's home state of Michigan, to increase the production rate of the all-new F-150 Lightning EV pickup truck to 150,000 vehicles per year in mid-2023 at the Rouge Electric Vehicle Center, to assemble an all-new Ranger at Michigan Assembly Plant and an all-new Mustang announced today at the Flat Rock Assembly Plant. $35 million investment, more than 600 jobs in an all-new Ford Customer Service Division packaging facility in Monroe, Michigan, that is expected to begin operations in 2024, further helping accelerate part shipments for Ford and Ford customers. The remainder of the more than 600 jobs and about $775 million investment distributed between components plants in southeast Michigan, supporting production of our gas and electric vehicles. This is in addition to the temporary Michigan employees who they are converting to full-time status ahead of schedule. You have questions, and we're setting it up so you can have a moment to ask the individuals here individual questions rather than just sitting here and shouting out things. You'll be able to have one-on-one time with them, I am told. I don't know if that should be here or back in that room or wherever you want to do that. You guys make the decision. What would you like? Where would you like them to do it? Out on the lake, apparently. I think it'll be beautiful.
It'll be cold.
It will be cold, but you're dressed for it.
When we wrap up, we'll do it here. We'll have the principals come to the cameras and whoever else and do scrums that way. And then we'll depart.
All right. So, my job is done. On behalf of Ford Motor Company and the hometown team, I thank you for being here and showing the interest that you're showing for something that is so good for our great state of Michigan. Thank you so much. Thank you to our panel. Thank you for working together.